Financial struggles can feel frustrating, especially when you are working hard and trying to move forward with your life. Often these challenges are connected to more than just income alone. They can involve timing, circumstances, and lessons about discipline and resilience. See, periods of financial difficulty often shape stronger habits and clearer priorities. They teach you patience, they build your awareness, and they encourage smarter decisions for your future. See, there was a time when your finances felt strangely difficult. No matter how hard you worked, something seemed to block your progress. Opportunities slipped away, stability felt delayed. It was as though your blessings were waiting just beyond reach. But there was a reason. You were surrounded by people whose hearts carried heavy burdens. People filled with envy, resentment, and negative intentions. Their actions were careless. Their character was unstable. And the consequences of their choices followed them closely. And because you were close to them, their influence slowed your path as well. Not because you lacked discipline, and not because you lacked ability, but because your heart was generous. Had your blessings arrived during that season, you would have shared them freely. You would have lifted those around you without hesitation. And in doing so, the very people who mistreated you would have benefited from what was meant to strengthen your life. So your season of abundance waited. It waited until you reached a moment where you finally said, enough is enough. One by one, you began letting these people go. It was not an easy thing to do. Each separation carried its own weight. And at times, you even questioned whether you were doing the right thing. But slowly, something began to change. The atmosphere of your life grew lighter. Your mind became clear. Your peace returned. And the constant tension that you once carried began to fade. And with it came new ideas, stronger focus, and a renewed ambition. You began to see how much energy had been spent simply trying to tolerate people who were slowing your progress. And once that weight was removed, your life began moving forward again. As it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17, come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Do not touch what is unclean, and I will receive you. Separation is sometimes the doorway which restoration enters. Those that once laughed at your struggles may find themselves watching quietly from a distance. They remembered moments when you faced hardship, when things seemed uncertain, when your future seemed unclear. But what they failed to understand then, and what they understand now, is that your story was never finished. When you walked away from that toxicity, something powerful happened. Your light returned. Your strength grew. And the life that once felt stalled began moving forward with clarity and purpose. You did not walk away out of pride. You walked away out of wisdom. And sometimes the greatest act of loyalty a person can show is not loyalty to those who harmed them, but loyalty to the life that God had trusted them to protect. I'd like to end this message off with a parable. A vineyard owner once planted a beautiful field of grapes, but as the vines began to grow, weeds slowly spread through the soil. At first, they seemed harmless, so the owner allowed them to remain. But over time, the weeds began stealing the water, the sunlight, and the nutrients meant for the vines. The grapes struggled to grow and the harvest was small. So finally, the owner made a difficult decision. He cleared the field completely, removing every field that had wrapped itself around the vines. And for a short time, the vineyard looked empty. But when the next season came, the vines flourished stronger than ever, producing a harvest greater than any year before. The land had not been the problem. The weeds had been stealing what the vines needed to grow. The lesson: when harmful people remain in your life, they quietly consume the energy, opportunities, and peace meant for your growth. Letting them go may feel painful at first, but it creates the space where your true blessings can finally flourish. And that's it for this message. I'd like to thank everybody who made it to the end of the video. I'm truly honored by your support. If this message resonated with you at all, please consider dropping a comment, giving me some feedback, hitting the like button, and subscribing. It's been ChrisAnesti, and until next time, take care and have a good one.